When it comes to Romelu Lukaku, he's the gift that keeps giving. No matter what content creator you are, if you're in the football industry, Romelu Lukaku consistently gives you gifts left, right and centre. And once again, he's outspoken, he's volatile, and he's calling Chelsea out. Chelsea must absolutely hate him and want to get rid of him. I've got the news. Joao Felix openly sits there and publicly states he wants to stay at Chelsea. We'll break that story down. Mason Mount, £55 million chase because Ten Hag really values this player, and we'll break that down. Moses Caicedo could be a Chelsea player because the manager has openly come out and said it could be his last game. We'll break that down. And finally, Mudryk. I am so sorry. He's 22 years old, but he's an absolute idiot. And for a man that spends most of his time on the bench, I understand why he spends so much time on Instagram. Let's get into it because this is beyond pathetic and we need to break this down. Today's video is going to be a great one. Let's go. Alright, bratuki, today's video is going to be a good one, so we're going to go straight off the back with Romelu Lukaku. Romelu Lukaku went on loan to Inter Milan, and one of the reasons he went on loan to Inter Milan after we spent 100 million euros on him was because Mr. Romelu Lukaku couldn't keep his mouth shut. And that's the reality of it, right? Romelu Lukaku went on Sky Italia and badmouthed Chelsea publicly, saying he believes the system should change for him, Thomas Tuchel isn't using him right, the team's not working right, wait for me, I'm coming back. Yeah, he came back, but then he moved to Inter Milan, spent most of the year on the bench. Now they're in the Champions League final, so Romelu's got a big mouth on him again. So why am I absolutely furious with Romelu Lukaku again? Well, Romelu Lukaku did an interview with Belgian network. And in this interview, he said, I was good last year at Chelsea. False. You were not good last year at Chelsea. You were a £100 million player that came to the club. And more importantly, after 3 months, you literally weren't a Chelsea player technically. You were getting bench minutes here and there, and you were a bench warmer behind Kai Havertz who had to play out of position to do your job. Number 2, he said, I still love Inter and I want to be at Inter. Very open, very clear, and what made me laugh, he said, I still had Inter, so I always knew things go wrong at Chelsea, I could always go back. That, whilst true, you don't need to say that. Because that tells me when you joined Chelsea, it was half-hearted. That tells me you're a liar because you sat on Chelsea TV and you told everybody, this is the club, I've got unfinished business here. I've come here, I love this club from a young age. This is all words that he was saying. This is all words that I remember people buying into. I remember people telling me I'm deluded for not thinking he was good. People telling me that, Alex, you just have an agenda against Romelu Lukaku. I had no agenda. I have eyes and I have an understanding of football. I know a good footballer when I see one. Romelu Lukaku is not a footballer. He is a goal scorer. He cannot control the ball. He cannot pass the ball. All he's good for is scoring tap-ins. That is literally what Romelu Lukaku is. And this final one really irritated me. This final quote that I took from what he said. I take this club seriously. So hold on, let me get this straight, big man. We pay you 300k a week and you don't take us seriously. What is that supposed to mean? I take this club seriously. We're bigger than Inter Milan in every way. I don't care what anyone says. 2 Champions Leagues say we are a big club. Premier League says we are a big club. Our recent history in every which way stipulates we are a big club. What does Inter Milan have that we don't have? What? It's because you get to bully people in that league. Because the defenders in that league aren't physically strong enough to impose themselves against you. So you can dominate, so you take that club seriously because you shine there. For me, Romelu Lukaku's quotes are disgusting. And I know what he's doing. Romelu Lukaku's coming out now. He's going to say all this stuff. He's going to make it so volatile, so toxic, that Maurizio Pochettino won't even dare have him at training at Cobham, let alone bring him back on a permanent basis. Romelu Lukaku, I can't wait for us to sell you because Lord knows you were never good enough to wear the Chelsea shirt anyway. Now on to a player that wants to be a Chelsea player. And you know what? I've got time for people like this because Joao Felix is a player that everyone always says, find someone to love you the way Alex loves Joao Felix. Apparently, that's what the comments keep saying. So we're going to go with it. But Joao Felix was at an interview yesterday with, I think it was Chelsea TV or somebody, and he's sitting there next to Koulibaly and Kovacic. And he's very open about it. One of the snippets went viral, literally went viral. Joao Felix said, I've really enjoyed my time here. I really like my teammates. I really like the club. It's a big club. I would like to be here. The words were, I would really like to be here. What is this saying? It's saying he wants to stay. He basically said it. I would really like to be here. And this is coming from the scout's Twitter, the secret scout on Twitter. The video clip is there. So it's not like there's lost in translation. None of this nonsense. You hear his tone. You hear the way he's talking about the club. He's a man that understands, right? He loves London. He loves this club. He wants to stay. He wants to fight for his position. And he sees the project we're building. And for me, Joao Felix is always welcome to stay because Joao Felix is a top player. He's got all the attributes to become one of the best. The only thing Joao Felix needs is an attacking system and the trust of a manager to give him a run of game. Once he gets these run of games, I am certain him and Kunku, they are going to work. It is going to be a good link up. As long as they get a nice number 9 in front of them, it's going to be something that could come to fruition. Don't get me wrong. I am not saying spend £100 million on Joao Felix. I'm saying tell Atletico Madrid we'll take him on another loan and we'll give you an option, give us an option to buy him for £70 million the year after. I would not have an issue with that because for me, he's a talent that deserves to be given another opportunity. That's just my opinion. But now that we made it this far in the video, Bratoki, I think you guys have to do me a little favor, right? Hit the like button because you made it through this far. Literally, we're like, what, 6 minutes into the video and you made it this far? Hit the like button. I'm aiming for 1,000 likes. It pushes it out. Make sure other people see it. Subscribe to the channel because we're aiming for 50,000 likes by the end of the year. It's not looking great at the moment, but we can get a nice steamroll throughout the summer. And finally, in the pinned comment is my Instagram. Go follow me there to build up the community and message me with your football-related questions. Now, let's move on to Mason Mount. When it comes to Mason Mount, it's been a very rocky ride for Chelsea at this moment in time because Mason Mount has been very divisive. I made a joke on Twitter that didn't go down well because a lot of people didn't understand it. I literally said, Mason Mount's team has been doing every little trick under the book to get him a new contract. It was initially feeding that, oh, Mason Mount is definitely getting a new deal. Then it was, the new deal was imminent. Then it was come January, oh, they've really upset him. Then it was Liverpool, Man United and Man City are definitely going to sign him and he's leaving. Now it's the final news is on the string. Well, yesterday we got more news and I don't know now at this moment in time whether this is BS or whether this is genuine. And the reason I say this is because UK outlets are running with this and they're running with this heavy. Ten Hag wants Mason Mount in his midfield and they're willing to pay £55 million to go and secure the asset of Mr. Mason Mount. Is Mr. Mason Mount worth £55 million? 100% Mr. Mason Mount is worth £55 million. Chelsea want approximately 80 million for the player. They're trying to spark a nice little bidding war. They're trying to antagonize the bidding war between Arsenal, Liverpool, and Manchester United. I don't think that's going to happen. And the reason I don't think that's going to happen is because I think Arsenal are going to put a massive outlay on the one and only Declan Rice. They're going to go and spend the 90 million to get him. I see this deal happening. It stinks of an Arsenal move. That's going to be their marquee signing, and that's going to be the poster boy they dress around for the whole summer. Declan Rice, we got one of the best midfielders in the country. That's what they're going to say. And then they're going to go get 2 or 3 younger players on a cheaper deals. Man United, they look like they need Declan Rice. Based on what their fan base is saying, based on the fans that I've spoken to, they're like, yeah, why not? We'll take him in. We need another creative source. I don't know where they're getting this reliability that Mount is creative. And Liverpool, I think they're getting McAllister. And in my opinion, McAllister's a better player than Mason Mount. That's my personal opinion. I want to know in the comments below what you lot think. 55 million, is this good business for Mason Mount? I think it is, considering that he only has 12 months left on his deal. And for me, if we're bringing in Joao, it's time to get rid. What I think is also very interesting is the Caicedo deal is getting heavily linked to Chelsea. Fabrizio Romano's coming out saying 2 or 3 clubs are interested in Caicedo. 2 or 3 clubs are interested in Caicedo. 2 or 3 clubs are going to actively bid for Caicedo. You're hearing this from Fabrizio on a regular basis. Reason being is because Chelsea already have a great relationship with Tony Bloom, the owner of Brighton. Arsenal are going after Declan Rice, like we said. So there aren't many individuals that are going to be actively pursuing to pay the fee that Brighton want. Chelsea are going to be one of them. Let's get it straight. Chelsea are willing to pay money if they believe the player is worth it. And in this case, they heavily rate this guy. And what I find interesting is what De Zerbi said at the end of the last game. He said against Manchester City, it's going to be McAllister's and Caicedo's potential last game. He basically didn't use those words in verbatim, but comment is going to be on the screen so you guys can see. He basically reiterated this is their potential last game. He said they deserve to play at a high level. And the reality is, this highlights to me De Zerbi's not going to be there long term. Because an individual that actively says they deserve to play at a higher level and is willing to let go of his best players knows what kind of club he signed up for. And I like that. He likes to be realistic and he likes to be honest with what he has at his disposal. He knows that McAllister, Caicedo, very good players. Too good for Brighton. And the reality is people are thinking, oh, Brighton will just keep doing this. It's harder to do it with the higher up you get in level. It's harder to do it the closer you get to that top 4, top 6, the more money you're going to have to start spending on the quality of players that you buy. Hence, when they come in, quicker they have to hit the ground running. Quicker they need to get under the belt. The more money you spend, the more pressure. And that is why, in my opinion, in 2 years, 3 years, Brighton are going to fall down the table. And when I say fall down the table, I mean they're going to be fighting relegation battles. That's just my personal opinion. I don't know what you lot think, but this is very exciting because I genuinely think our primary target this year will be Caicedo. The stories are out there. They're willing to sell based on that statement. Chelsea just need to go get it done, but one of the ways to get it done is getting Mason Mount out and any other player. Finally, a story about Mudryk, and I don't really like doing this, right? And I feel like calling him an idiot is a bit harsh, but I think he's acting like an idiot. And I really mean this because, so Mudryk is in the gym and he's on Instagram. Firstly, big man, why you filming stories in the gym, right? Because your sets clearly aren't powerful enough or impactful enough to the point where you're out of breath and you need to regain your fitness breath to go and do the next set. Because if you got time to record someone, write a caption, post it on your story, you ain't training properly. And in my case, bro, you are not playing at this moment in time, so I don't understand. There's a gentleman who's clearly a little bit overweight. He's training. He's on the rowing machine and his butt crack is out. The reality is his butt crack is out. It's a little bit funny. If you're 12, you're gonna laugh, haha, butt crack. Mudryk puts it on his Instagram. And now that he put it on his Instagram, this went viral. And then there's this guy called Joey Swoll. And if you guys have seen him on Twitter or Instagram or TikTok, he's an individual that's a personal trainer and he actively calls out people that make it difficult for individuals that go to the gym. Instead of encouraging people to go to the gym, they demotivate people. Because if you're overweight and you're stressed about going to the gym and you see that, and it will put you off, because what if I do something stupid in the gym and someone records it? That's the thought process you're gonna go through. So the reality is, Mudryk is an idiot. And why I say that is because Mudryk needs to understand who Mudryk is. Mudryk is no longer the Ukrainian international that plays for Shakhtar Donetsk. Mudryk is a Ukrainian international that plays for Chelsea Football Club. He has got millions of individuals keeping tabs on him. He has got millions of papers waiting for him to absolutely make a mistake to jump on him. And for me, this is a problem. Reason being is, Mudryk, you've come in and you haven't hit the ground running, my friend. I don't care what anyone says. I think there's talent in there, but yeah, I've not seen it. I said it the other day and I'll say it again. Noni Madueke looks like a better player than Noni Madueke at this moment in time looks like the better player based on what we've seen in a Chelsea kit. And he cost a third of what you've cost. And the reality is, I don't see that changing anytime because all I keep seeing from Mudryk is Instagram statements, Instagram photos, Instagram updates, Instagram. Bruv, if you want to be an influencer, why don't you just stop playing football and just become a full-time influencer? Because we need someone to get a grip of this guy at this moment in time. It's embarrassing for the club, in my opinion. People are going to say, Alex, you're going too far. I don't think I'm going too far. I think in an old dressing room, when we had Didier Drogba, Petr Cech, John Terry, Frank Lampard, Essien, Ballack, Deco, you think they would put up with this? They would take him to the side. They would tell him, you need to sort this out because you're a footballer first, a vlogger, and Instagrammer second. The reality is, your primary role is to score goals and contribute to this team. It's not to be a fool in your part-time on the social media and bring unnecessary spotlight to the club. And for me, this is silly from him. He needs to stop this. He's a talented kid, but he literally is acting like that, a kid. And that's not acceptable for me. Hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. Let me know your thoughts. This is a long video today, so if you made it this far, I really appreciate it. Thank you very much. Peace out. I'm out.